No matter where you are in the world, there'll always be skeptics when it comes to ghosts and goblins. And fair enough, right? Nevertheless, there will also be people catching what they think is the real deal on camera. In this video, we'll take a look through 20 ghost photos that should never exist. Number 20. WHALEY House Ghost. Since the mysterious deaths of the members of the WHALEY family, this house has seen all kinds of mysteries. Visitors have reported seeing the ghost of a woman in the garden, while many people also claim to have seen Thomas Whaley's spirit in the parlour. A young girl who matches the description of Marion Reynolds, the great-granddaughter of Thomas Whaley who died from ingesting ant poison, is reported to grab the arms of visitors as they tour the house. This photo is believed to be the ghost of Thomas Whaley, captured staring through the window of the Whaley house. Number 19. Bride Ghost. It is surrounded by several different versions of the story, but only one of them can be verified. The ghost roaming the bridge is of an unfortunate wife who was thrown off the bridge into water and killed by her soldier husband in the 1960s. One story also mentions that on a certain night you can see her decomposing body walking the area under the bridge or on top of the bridge. It's said that if you happen to turn your car off on the bridge, it will not start again unless you push it off the bridge or until the sun comes up. Number 18. Lakeside Ghost. This photo, taken at Wisconsin's Dorothy Dunn Lake, appears to show a bonnet-clad child standing near the water. According to the photographer, there were no children present at the time of the photo. Is this young girl who passed away simply watching a man fish? Are spirits watching us right now? Number 17. Monk House Ghosts. Taken at Hull House in downtown Chicago, Illinois by Dale Kaczmarek in November of 1980. This enlarged blow-up of the interior staircase of this most haunted house in Chicago. There was nothing visible to the naked eye when the photograph was taken, but what appears are 4 distinct shadowy monk-like figures standing on the bottom 4 or 5 steps. The one directly in the middle appears to be dressed in monk's clothing, with his 2 hands together in prayer. Number 16. Waverly Hills Sanatorium Ghost. Welcome to Waverly Hills Sanatorium, a medical facility that was once dedicated to treat patients suffering from tuberculosis long before the modern cure was discovered. The most well-known woman being of a nurse named Mary Lee, who happened to contract the disease. But the story takes a horrific twist when she was found hanging from a light apparatus in room 502. The picture above is of the ghostly figure captured on camera who is believed to be Mary Lee, forever roaming the corridors of the hospital, groaning in pain. Number 15. Nursing Home Ghost. This photo is taken by a resident of a nursing home. Prior to the photo being taken, members of the staff and other residents heard the sounds of a door opening and closing, along with the appearance of a call light turning on and off, yet nobody was in the room. Apparently this picture had been taken roughly 15 minutes after a patient in the facility had passed away. Is it possible this is the person who just died? Number 14. Mary King's Ghost. Mary King's Close in Edinburgh, Scotland has long had a reputation for being haunted. This photo from the real Mary King's Close, a company offering tours of the underground street, reportedly shows a ghost after hours. Could this be her, wandering the hallways looking for unsuspecting photographers? Number 13. Uninvited Wedding Ghost. Witness statement says this was taken in October 1972 by a professional photographer who was commissioned to take photographs of guests arriving at the wedding reception of friends whose son had just married in Paisley. The photo shows me on the left, my wife who was pregnant at the time, and friends. Crouching behind one of the figures is a spirit extra, looking towards the camera and dressed in what appears to be open-toed sandals. Number 12. Tea Room Ghost. Dan Clifford was reviewing the security footage taken from the CCTVs in his local cafe when he noticed a ghostly female figure hovering over one of the tables before vanishing into thin air. The security cameras are set up to turn on automatically when motion triggers them. The film segment in question was taken during the middle of the night, at which time the business was closed and the doors locked tight. Number 11. Blackpool Waxworks Ghost. The photographer says, I took this photograph at the Blackpool Waxworks, UK, 9th of August. It clearly shows a face behind my husband. The strange thing is that the photo was taken at the Coronation Street exhibit, a long-running UK soap. It shows the face of who I think may be Ina Sharples, who died in the 1980s and was one of the original main characters. Since researching her, I found that she died in Blackpool and was even buried there. Number 10. Walking ghost. The person who originally posted this online said this photo was taken by a close relative in a graveyard in the middle of the night. The people who were there at the time say there are only 3 people in this photo. They said the middle entity is unknown, and no one was walking past at the time this image was taken. Number 9. Wedding party ghost. Taken at a church in England's Church Aston, Newport. This photo appears to show an extra member of the wedding party. The submitter, the child close to the camera, said she felt cold and sad while taking this photo, though she wasn't sure why. Perhaps it was the unseen bridesmaid. Number 8. Christening ghost. This ghostly image, which appeared in the UK's Mirror website, reportedly shows a man's ghost at a christening in Canterbury, England. According to Heather Sewell, grandmother of the christened child, the spirit bears a striking resemblance to her late husband Terry. Maybe this is his spirit at the christening. Number 7. Graveyard ghost. An SX-70 picture taken by Mrs. Saha of Chicago, Illinois in November 1982 at the gravesite of her grandmother who died in 1934. It appears to be a double exposure, but this is long before that was possible with an SX-70 camera. There were 2 distinct figures in the fog, one of a girl in long brown hair apparently holding back an animal in her lap, and an older boy with his left arm around her waist. His right arm actually trails out of the photograph towards the bottom center. Number 6. Old truck ghost. This may not look like much, although the story behind this interesting picture is that a police officer snapped a photo of the abandoned truck before it was towed away. However, later, when the image was developed, something extra appears in the background. There appears to be an apparition inside the truck, looking back at the photographer. Number 5. Funeral home ghost. A woman who posted this image says, "A friend of mine was taking a picture of herself and her daughter kissing, and in the background you can clearly see a figure that was not there." She had ghost experts come in and check around the house and found nothing. After some research, they found one of the previous owners was a mortician and ran a funeral home from the house. Number 4. Remington Arms ghost. This photo comes from the long-abandoned Remington Arms factory in Bridgeport, CT. Now the site is reportedly haunted, with visitors claiming to hear muffled screams, disembodied voices, and furtive whispers. The photo above comes from the factory's shot tower, where 2 workers reportedly died in a gruesome accident. Number 3. Six Flags ghost. This photograph was by Jackie Rame of Florian, Alabama, during a visit to a Six Flags Great America amusement park in Arlington, Texas. It clearly shows a semi-transparent figure of a little boy in the grass, dressed in what looks to be a red sweater with a white collar or shirt. The camera was a C126 and it was misting rain and humid outside, although she was simply taking a picture of the Texas Giant coaster. Number 2. Little girl ghost. You may not see anything here, but the story behind this photo from Reddit is that the homeowners regularly see the ghost of a little girl. They believe that's actually her reflection on the black case, right next to the chair. Do you see her? She seems to be looking right into the camera lens. Number 1. Hospital ghost. Now you might want to look at this supernatural photo a few times. The submitter said, at an ICU in a hospital in Colorado, a nurse was testing her flash in the room with the lights off recently. If you look into the mirror, you can clearly see an entity of what looks to be an old man. And once again, we really like the fact that the ghostly gentleman is actually looking directly into the camera.